You probably heard that Al Gore received the Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts to raise awareness about global warming. He shared the prize with the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, which this year released its most recent assessment. Several Penn State faculty are part of the IPCC. You've already met two of them on Weather World. Earlier this year, I interviewed Michael Mann and Ann Thompson from the Department of Meteorology. Another IPCC author is William Easterling, the new Dean of the College of Earth and Mineral Sciences at Penn State. There's also Klaus Keller from the Department of Geosciences, and finally Richard Alley, an internationally known expert on ice sheets and their relationship to climate. He and others have found widespread evidence that Earth's ice cover, including snow, mountain glaciers, and the Greenland ice sheet, and Arctic polar sea ice, is slowly shrinking. Now, sea ice is basically ocean water that freezes, and it's made a lot of news recently. This graph shows the average coverage of Arctic sea ice as a function of month. We've been measuring this from satellites since 1979. Typically, the least sea ice occurs during the month of September, right at the end of summer. Now, prior to this year, the least sea ice on record was in September 2005. That's this dashed graph, about 20% below the long-term average for September. Well, last month, sea ice in the Arctic dropped well below even that record, almost 40% below the long-term average for the month of September. And that record low sea ice helped to fully open the fabled Northwest Passage to navigation for the first time in at least 30 years. The Northwest Passage is the shortcut from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean through the islands of the Canadian Arctic Ocean, along the northern coast of North America. At least 3 boats made it through the passage this summer, one of them a 25-foot catamaran powered entirely by sail, the first time that had ever been done in one season. Another boat finished the journey in just 45 days and reported hardly any ice along the way. Now, that record low sea ice last month means that the buildup of ice in the Arctic is behind schedule for the upcoming winter. This is snow and ice cover as of Monday. Here's the North Pole, there's Alaska, here's northern Canada, and this is Siberia. Sea ice is in yellow, snow cover's in white, and there's still not much snow cover in Canada, and still a few bare spots in Siberia as well. Now, I'll put some lines on here to show the extent of the sea ice in the Arctic Ocean so that we can compare it to what the situation looked like on the same date last year. And notice how much more sea ice had formed by this time, and there was more snow cover as well in both Canada and Siberia. Now remember, these high latitudes are the manufacturing grounds for the cold air masses that eventually bring chill into the lower 48. The longer these areas go without complete snow and ice cover, the tougher it will be for bitterly cold air masses to form and then survive the trip south. Fred will be back with the extended forecast next.
Visit the Penn State section of Get Local to find programs that make the resources of Penn State University available in your home on your schedule. Categories include Penn State Life, Research, Outdoors, Home and Garden, Arts, PA Stories, Health, Education, and World War II. Penn State on-demand videos are posted with additional online resources at live.psu.edu/VOD.